A fresh wave of American frustration crashed over Europe on Wednesday as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio slammed NATO allies for failing to boost defense spending. Echoing President Donald Trump's long-standing grievances, Rubio warned that the U.S. would no longer subsidize Europe's security, calling out wealthy nations that have neglected their militaries for decades. These are rich countries, Rubio told Fox News, singling out Western Europe. They have plenty of money. They should be investing that in their national security, and they're not. He condemned NATO allies for spending as little as 1% of their GDP on defense, calling it unfair and unsustainable for Washington to continue shouldering the burden. Rubio dismissed concerns over NATO's survival, but made it clear that Europe must take responsibility for its own security.
NATO is not in jeopardy. The only thing that puts NATO in jeopardy is the fact that we have NATO allies who barely have militaries or whose militaries are not very capable because they've spent 40 years not spending any money on it. It's their continent, right? Why should we not be? Why is it unreasonable for the United States to ask rich European countries to invest more money in their own national security?
His remarks came amid mounting U.S. pressure on European capitals to ramp up their military budgets, a demand Trump has aggressively pursued since returning to the White House. Meanwhile, Washington's focus on Ukraine was shifting from military aid to economic leverage. As NATO tensions escalated, another high-stakes negotiation neared its conclusion, a minerals deal between the U.S. and Ukraine, which could reshape Kyiv's economic future. Rubio confirmed that the agreement was very close to the finish line, signaling that Kyiv may soon hand over a significant share of its revenues from minerals, gas, and oil infrastructure to American interests. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet Trump in Washington on Friday, where the deal is expected to be finalized. However, Trump has made it clear that economic partnerships will not translate into sweeping security guarantees for Kyiv.
Ukraine, can you talk a little bit about what type of security guarantees you're willing to make?
Well, I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. We're going to have Europe do that because it's in, we're talking about Europe as their next door neighbor. But we're going to make sure everything goes well. And as you know, we'll be making we'll be really partnering with Ukraine in terms of rare earth. We very much need rare earth. They have great rare earth.
With NATO allies under pressure and Ukraine negotiating away its resources, the message from Washington was clear. The U.S. is done footing the bill. Now it is up to Europe and Kyiv to decide whether they can afford the cost of their own security.